thanks for your patience. It's a big, exciting day. We've had our first practice, and the guys are moving around well. A lot of optimism, but a great deal of challenge. At the first game, we're playing in 0 week, which is a little bit new for us. But our players have handled the situation really well. They've come back in great shape. I think our guys are moving around really well. I always look at how your seniors are moving around, and whether it's James Price or Andrew Wingert or Carl Granderson, really like the movement that they have, great attitudes. We've had a super summer, but we got a lot of work to do. We're playing in a really competitive conference, and we've got a really competitive non-conference schedule. As we look at New Mexico State, they won their bowl game. I think they're playing as well as what they have in a long, long time, so it's a big, big challenge for us. So anyhow, at this time, I'll open up any questions. Let's go right here, Robert.
What were your thoughts of your first practice today? You mentioned moved around. Anything kind of catch your eye, even though you're getting acclimated and everything? Anything catch your eye?
First of all, I'm not going to comment on freshmen right now. I thought they're trying to find their way, but some of the upperclassmen, Alonzo Velasquez has really had a good summer. He seemed to put on some good lean muscle mass. We like his footwork. Austin Fort has been able to stretch the field. We're excited about that. As I mentioned, I thought Andrew Wingert, another guy that's really adjusted well to a new position, Tyler Hall. He had a pick six today. I don't know if that was great or not, but he showed some great athleticism. So, we really feel excited about, T. Hall at that nickel position. As I said, a lot of experience on defense, and so we're pleased with that. Yeah.
Coach, what was sort of your approach towards planning out the schedule for fall camp, just like you mentioned, with it a little bit different this year with week 0?
0 week. The summer got adjusted. We changed everything about a week, and then we looked at past schedules. The other thing we did this year, we shortened the number of practices that you have. Last couple years, we've had 29 opportunities. This year it's 25, so we made some adjustments in our installation, our offense and defense and special teams. Not a huge adjustment, but some adjustment. And as we go through, we have all those practices planned out. We'll probably tweak a couple as we get in the back end of our preparation. But the biggest thing is our guys came back in great shape. And our strength staff has done a super job with them. And, I've always believed about half your games, if you have a great summer, you're going to be in position to win. So we're pleased with that. I think we had a question in the back, yes.
Coach, you had at the beginning of the season, you had New Mexico State, Washington State, Mizzou, and they're all kind of diverse teams. Boise State a little bit later. Just talk about the challenges of having so many diverse teams as far as their skill sets, and what it will help you grow as far as becoming a team.
That's a great question, and some of that mirrors how the Mountain West is as well. The Mountain West has got probably as many different schemes as far as the time zones we operate in. Particularly teams always look at your preseason. We've done a lot of preparation on all our opponents, just like all our opponents have done on us. I know this is, for me personally as a head football coach, I'm really focused on New Mexico State. I like to go on the road in Las Cruces. It'll probably be pretty doggone warm. There's a lot of similarities I see between their program and ours. But we've certainly looked at saying, okay, what are the elements that we're going to need within the foundation of our offense and defense and special teams that's going to carry us all the way through. So the great news is our coordinator's back, all our coaches are back. We've worked together well for a long, long time, and that gives me as a head football coach a great deal of comfort. Got a lot of trust in these men. I think there was another question, maybe over left, yes.
So you started the week early, but that gives you 2 byes this year, one late in the season. Is that an advantage or disadvantage, or how do you view having 2 bye weeks this year?
Well, I think first of all, if we take a measured approach on how we're looking at, an extra week of fall camp, that can certainly help. Many times as coaches, you always want to seem to do more, and there is a residual effect as far as, if you wear guys down. Certainly during the course of the year, we've always utilized our bye weeks by utilizing time for working on fundamentals, our upcoming opponent, and then we've spent a great deal of time on recruiting in bye weeks as well. And so the fact that we have 2, one that's coming, a little bit early, I believe, before our Boise State game, and then later on, we'll take full advantage of those. You know, most of my colleagues, coaches are, you know, they plan like you get, and so you make a plan with what we have. We're gonna embrace the schedule, and we're excited about it. Other questions?
Coach, for some rule changes, you know, the red shirt rule.
Mhm.
Is that a benefit to
Yep.
what you do?
The question is, the rule change with the red shirt, to just, I guess, summarize that rule, now we can play a guy in 4 games. It doesn't matter what 4 games, and still preserve their red shirt year. We feel like it's a win-win for all of college football. You know, when the red shirt rule first was in existence, there was 145 scholarships, and people played 10 games. And now there's 85 scholarships, and you're playing 13, 14, sometimes 15 games. And so teams get worn down. We are in the process of kind of analyzing what guys we'd like to integrate in at what times. I think everybody around the country is trying to figure it out, but I can tell you this, there's not a coach in college football that doesn't think this was a great move. Yes,
So it's just so many players out with injuries back in spring camp. Does it just look different today with maybe more guys healthy out there?
it certainly does. You know, we had, you know, a lot of guys, you're right, missed in spring football. And that's one of the advantages, though, of carrying a full-bodied squad, because we were able to have a spring game. And some of our guys that were down the line that, you know, competed, like Josh Calvert and Justin Wharton, these guys added great value to our football team. Certainly now in fall camp, it's great to have some of these guys back. Carl's back at full speed. Ravante Holt is back. Sid Malulu, all these guys are back. So we certainly look different. I know Scotty Hazelton kind of joked. He said this is kind of like free agency. All of a sudden you have all these bodies show up. Yes.
Coach, talk about your plan. What are you guys doing with your look at quarterback right now? What's kind of your plan through fall camp?
Well, the question about, comes about with our quarterbacks. You know, unlike maybe in the years past where we knew who our quarterback was going to go or who was going to be, this year what we've done is we've split reps. Coach Vegan's done a great job of splitting reps between our different units. We have 4 or 5 quarterbacks in camp. The lion's share of reps are going to be shared right now between Tyler and Nick, but some of our younger guys, Sean's certainly getting some reps. So we're spreading those reps around, but I wouldn't say they're spread evenly. Other questions? Yes.
Also about the running back position, do you know yet, I mean, who's gonna be carrying that load?
Well, we're really encouraged on the fact that we feel like, you know, we'll have our running backs back. We were a little bit concerned. We didn't know if Trey Woods was going to be back. He will be. Kellen Overstreet will be back. Nico Evans had a good spring. He's starting at the top of the depth chart. And then we've got a couple freshmen that we will take a hard look at there. You know, unlike maybe the years when we had Brian Hill, it'll be a little bit more running back by committee.
You talked about the quarterbacks, Coach. Tyler Vanderwall was #1 coming out of spring. Is he your clear-cut #1 right now?
Yeah, the question is about Tyler's status. He's not our clear-cut #1. There's good things Tyler did today. There's good things Nick is doing. We'll continue to evaluate that during the course of fall camp. We felt like it was important to name a starter after, you know, the spring competition, but there's going to be some more competition. But I can tell you right now, Tyler sets at #1. I thought he had a good day today. You know, he's got a good zip on the ball. He's got good mobility. You know, he's a smart guy, and but Nick has done some really good things as well. Nick has improved from where he was at the end of last year. Yes.
As far as the preseason awards and the picking and Wyoming finished second in this year, how do you keep the guys focused moving forward, you know, with all those kind of, would you say, maybe distractions on?
Well, I addressed that this morning. You know, as an old seasoned football coach, I told them it doesn't take long to get from the penthouse to the outhouse. And when you start reading your press clippings of all the pundits that are out here saying how great they are, you know, those things always concern me. Complacency. We do have some good experienced players. And so we talked about staying focused, being really grooved into the task at hand, staying in, doing your job, playing together as a football team. And that's part of maturity and part of the leadership that we have as coaches. And then specifically, that's one of my main jobs, make sure we've got a good focused football team that has confidence. There's a time our football team didn't have confidence. But complacency can have a big detriment to your football team. And so I'm keenly aware of that. Our coaches are keenly aware of that. I think our players are keenly aware of that also. Another question out here. I think there was a hand I thought I saw. Okay, sorry about being here a little bit late, Tim. I screwed up.
Well, maybe I didn't communicate well enough, Coach. I'll take my share of that. I'll take my
Throw
share.
me under the bus anyhow. What do we do next?
Next, we're gonna go over to the